All right, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wonderful people, lovers of freedom all over the world. Wherever you're joining us from today, you're highly welcome to this wonderful YouTube platform that gives you quality news and information on every activities happening in Biafran territory. So if this is your first time of joining us, please do not forget to share this video to as many group and platforms as possible. Now you're live on Let's Talk TV, and we will be giving you a brief and an in-depth analysis on the issue of the U.S. presidential race. Yeah, so many people might say, what does Biafra has to do with the U.S. presidential race? Let me tell you something. Biafra has to do with a lot of things, and a lot of countries. Just the same way that Finland has actually been encouraging, the freedom. It's the same way that it is a good thing that what is his name, Donald Trump won the U.S. election. Let me tell you the truth. Assuming Kamala Harris, won this election, Omo, one thing I'm sure is that no matter what happens, Biafra will definitely come. Nothing is stopping Biafra for sure. But imagine a country like US pushing for the freedom of Biafra, like supporting the freedom of Biafra. Imagine a country like US, because definitely we know UK will never support the Biafran freedom because of how they've been, sucking and working hand in hand with the Zoological Republic of the Animal Kingdom called Nigeria. So, on that note, Odinawa, the great Odinawa gave a spiritual significance of the freedom, the winning of Donald Trump. He gave an in-depth analysis on the spiritual significance of Donald Trump victory. And I am honestly proud of Odinawa and the way he gives an in-depth analysis on issues. I'm very proud of him. He's a very intelligent man. That is why I like to repost his contents, because he's a very intelligent man. Now, if you listen to this video very well, if you're an ardent listener, you will see that he aptly, gave a spiritual significance of that winning, clarifying what would have actually been the if it went the other way around. I'm not saying that Biafran freedom will not come. Definitely, nothing can stop it, because it has actually been signed by Chukwuokike Abiyama for it to come. The same Heavenly Father who has kept, Biafra, who has helped Biafra to attain, the kind of recognition and the kind of win and victory that they've attained this year, has good plans, and that is why you see things are working for the good of Biafra. Let me tell you, for those of you who feel that nothing good will come out of Biafra, you have failed, because we have actually seen the light. We never reach end of tunnel yet. We don't see the light already. We never near tunnel, end of tunnel, and I forgot the light. And this light will continue to shine brighter. So let me enter into the issue of the day. Let us see here this intelligent man, deciphering and clearly, giving out an apt and detailed, spiritual significance of the winning of Trump.
Live and direct, to hit the like button and of course share the broadcast, that others may know that we are live. Very soon we will of course we will call it a day, because we have other things to do, and from now we'll hit the ground running. We are going to hit the ground running again as usual. We come very, very early today. This is not our normal time of course, coming live. And then many Biafrans are not also aware that we are live this very, of course, afternoon or evening. So let us see what has happened in the United States of America, how Donald Trump becomes the president of the United States of America. I will not talk too much against or about the opposition, because they are now opposition. Even though Joe Biden is still the president till this minute, they are completely, they are now officially opposition party. That is what it is now. That is what American people have said. That yes, at this minute, you are still in power as the president of America, but you must know that from this day moving forward, you are now opposition party. That is what American people have said. So you can see US election 2024. Of course, Kamala Harris is there by the left-hand side with the blue line, and the Donald Trump is there by the right-hand side with red line. The margin is far from, from competition, as Kamala Harris has, of course, 67,413,254 votes, while Donald Trump has 24 votes. 417,024 votes. You understand now? So there are many millions ahead of Kamala, or is it Kamala or Kamara? Now America you people try very well for electing Donald Trump, especially in this precarious time. In this very precarious time, this crucial moment. In this crucial moment, and I'm going to make a declaration. I'm going to make a declaration at the end of this. Something that I have been saying inside me for the past 5 years. Oh, Chineke Ogini Neme. Ogini, thank you for reminding me. And thank you for this to happen. Thank you for this to happen. I'm going to make a declaration. Something that has been bothering me. Something that has been bothering me for the past 5 years. My heart has been telling me this. My spirit has been telling me this. And I no gree talk am. I no gree talk am. I said no, I don't want to say it in the public. But I will say it today. Just a moment. Yes, I will say it today with reason. And it's going to be a message to Donald Trump. I will say it because I am not going to say because it's the reality. I will say it based on not just my own personal opinion, but what the Spirit of God in me has told me many years ago. 5 good years ago. Now, try again. It's disturbing me actually, but I will say it. Now, US election 2024 live. Donald Trump wins presidency, defeats Kamala Harris. I don't have to go on and read because you all have already known that that Donald Trump is now the president-elect of the United States of America. Now, Donald Trump, the Republican presidential candidate, is projected to have secured at least the 270 electoral college votes he needs to return to the White House for a second time after his 2017-2021 term. The Associated Press says Trump, 78, has defeated his Democratic rival Kamala Harris, 60, after a hard-fought campaign, according to the projection. That's why they have been trying to buy him. They have been fighting to eliminate him. How many times did they shoot at him? But God, in his infinity mercy, keep him alive. God keep him alive for a reason, for a purpose. For a purpose. I don't want to go into, the narrations and the insinuations of, the activities and whatever that is going on in American politics, or maybe democratic, party. Whatever, I've had a lot. I don't want to go into that because it's not my business. It's not my concern, including the way they are trying to turn the world upside down. I know about those things and all the rules that they are bringing and pushing it to the outside world. I don't want to go into those things because I have my own reason. This broadcast is not for that. Let me allow American people to deal with that. And they have dealt with it. That's why they say, Democrat, we don't want you again for now. They have dealt with it in the civilized way. In the civilized way. This has shown that they are not just hungry. American people are not just hungry. I cannot accept or believe that the American citizens are hungry under, Joe Biden or Democrats. I can't believe that. So I believe that they are not comfortable with the rules and regulations or the pattern of leadership of not just Joe Biden but Democrats. They are not comfortable with the what do you call it? Not just rules and regulations. What there's policies. Yes. The American people have shown that they are not comfortable with the policies of Democrats under Joe Biden. You understand? So that's what they have shown. And I don't want to start spilling other things, how things are, have gone wrong. No, I'm not here for that. But let me say something before I open the microphone for people to come in and make their contribution. What I want to say today is something that has been disturbing me for the past 5 days. Since Donald Trump lost the election 4 years ago, my spirit has been telling me this. And what is that in my spirit has been telling me? You see, before I say it, let me also remind you that Biafra that we are talking about is a spiritual matter, not only physical. I will tell you the 2 reasons why it is a spiritual matter, not only the physical realm. The first reason is because of who we are. Anybody who is not a Biafran may be asking, who are you? No problem. Say it the way you want. Ask it the way you want. No problem. I have no answer for you. But if you know what the Biafran people stand for, what the Igbos stand for in this world, not only in the zoo, in this Africa or in the world at large, if you want to tell yourself the truth of your life, not the propaganda on the media, not your hatred of the Igbos. If you are able to tell yourself the truth, you as a non-Biafran man or woman, asking, who are you? What do you represent? And you begin to bring propaganda, or you people are selling this, fake medicine, this and that. Leave those propaganda by the side and tell yourself the truth. These people, after the massacre of 1967 to 1970, after the 20 pound to each person that had an account, before I used to think it was for each family. No. Each person that had an account, bank account with an enough amount of money in it, because they're going to check your record, then they will give you 20 pounds. So more than millions of Biafrans who did not have any bank account were rendered useless and empty-handed. So if these people with only 20 pounds, for those that we are civilized enough and educated enough and rich enough to open bank account as at that time, we're given 20 pounds, and today this is who they are. This is where they are. This is what God has done for them. If you want to tell yourself the truth, you would know, yes, that these people are mighty. They are really mighty. Tell yourself the truth, my friend. Begin to tell yourself the truth and leave propaganda alone. We are destiny children of God. Tell yourself the truth and leave media propaganda. After the massacre, millions upon millions upon millions of future generations of Ndibo were all mauled, were all massacred out of both bombings and malnutrition. They were down, millions. Yet they are still one of the largest ethnic group in the world. I'm not talking about in Nigeria, I'm not talking about in Africa, in the world, whereby wherever you go, you see them. Wherever you go, you see them. What happened to the million? They did not just buy the adults, but the future generations who are supposed to be the mothers producing more children today. They were all, not all, but they were mauled, both by bombing and especially by malnutrition. So tell yourself who are bitter against the Igbo people the truth. Then that is not the issue here. I just told you something. You listening to me now as a non-Biafran. Now, this Biafra matter, coming back to Donald Trump, this Biafra matter, Biafra issue is a spiritual matter. The spiritual side of it is far higher than the physical side of it. We are fighting physically, but the spiritual effect of this Biafra matter is too high. And it has only two reasons why it's like that. The first reason is because of who we are in the eyes of the Lord, in the eyes of Chukwokika Abiyama. Who we are too precious in the eyes of God. We are a special people in the eyes of the God of the Lord who created heaven and earth. We are a special people, highly special. I am not a preacher. I am not a pastor. I'm not a prophet. I'm telling you the reality based on what I have seen in life. Biafran people are a special people in the eyes of God. If you like, believe it. If you like, leave it. But ask yourself a question. Why them? Why them? Why the Igbos? After everything, why the Igbos? If you tell yourself the truth, then you will believe it. You believe me. You will concur with what I'm saying. We are a special people. In the eyes of God, He made us special from others. That is the truth. That is the reality. Because if the Yorubas went through what the Igbos went through between 1966, not even 67, between 1966 to 1970, today, I cannot tell you what these people with only 20 pounds, for those that we are civilized enough and educated enough and rich enough to open bank account as at that time. We're given 20 pounds, and today this is who they are. This is where they are. This is what God has done for them. If you want to tell yourself the truth, you would know, yes, that these people are mighty. They are really mighty. Tell yourself the truth, my friend. Begin to tell yourself the truth and leave propaganda alone. We are destiny children of God. Tell yourself the truth and leave media propaganda. After the massacre, millions upon millions upon millions of future generations of Ndibo were all mauled, were all massacred out of both bombings and malnutrition. They were down millions, yet they are still one of the largest ethnic group in the world. I'm not talking about in Nigeria, I'm not talking about in Africa, in the world, whereby wherever you go, you see them. Wherever you go, you see them. What happened to the million? They did not just buy the adults, but the future generations who are supposed to be the mothers producing more children today. They were all, not all, but they were mauled, both by bombing and especially by malnutrition. So tell yourself who are bitter against the Igbo people the truth. Then that is not the issue here. I just told you something. You listening to me now as a non-Biafran. Now, this Biafra matter, coming back to Donald Trump, this Biafra matter, Biafra issue is a spiritual matter. The spiritual side of it is far higher than the physical side of it. We are fighting physically, but the spiritual effect of this Biafra matter is too high. And it has only two reasons why it's like that. The first reason is because of who we are in the eyes of the Lord, in the eyes of Chukwokika Abiyama. Who we are too precious in the eyes of God. We are a special people in the eyes of the God of the Lord who created heaven and earth. We are a special people, highly special. I am not a preacher. I am not a pastor. I'm not a prophet. I'm telling you the reality based on what I have seen in life. Biafran people are a special people in the eyes of God. If you like, believe it. If you like, leave it. But ask yourself a question. Why them? Why them? Why the Igbos? After everything, why the Igbos? If you tell yourself the truth, then you will believe it. You believe me. You will concur with what I'm saying. We are a special people. In the eyes of God, He made us special from others. That is the truth. That is the reality. Because if the Yorubas went through what the Igbos went through between 1966, not even 67, between 1966 to 1970, today, I cannot tell you what will happen because you didn't pass through anything. Look at your life. You didn't pass through anything. Look at your life. If the Fulanis, if the Hausas went through what the Igbos went through between 1966 to 1970, today, you did not pass through anything, but you have Bambiyalas. More than any other ethnic group, you have Bambiyalas in the north. You did not pass through anything. You have Agburus everywhere in the west. Agburus everywhere in the Fefanaaro, jobless. Agburus everywhere, robbing people, stealing from people, and you did not pass through anything. What about those that went through this hellfire and survived it? So tell yourself the truth. That is number one. The number one reason of this, the number one reason that made this Biafra agitation spiritual, because of who we are. The number two reason is because of the blood of the innocent that has been spilled in the fight for this Biafra, and of course spilled by the Nigerian, terrorist army and other security agents. Blood is spiritual. So these are two main reasons why this Biafra matter is a spiritual thing. Two main reasons. You may bring every other reason, but these are two main reasons. Now, given the level of the spirituality or spiritual attachment to this Biafra matter, to this very Biafra matter, it has now connected me back to Donald Trump. I have laid that foundation to show you that what we are doing is not just a physical thing. It has a great spiritual, attachment and inclination. So now let's move to Donald Trump. Now, I strongly believe that one of the reasons Donald Trump was elected as the president of America, not now, but in 2015, if I'm not mistaken? Was it in 2015? Can somebody help me in the comment section? When was the first time? The first time that should be 2015. It has to be 2015 or early 2016, if I'm not mistaken. Can somebody help me in the comment section? Either late 2015 or early, I think it was early 2016, between January, February, March, or maybe December 2015. 2016, right? 2016, yeah. If you can also remind me the month, that would be appreciated. That should be early 2016, very early 2016. If I'm not mistaken, that should be early 2016 or maybe late, I don't know. So, the time Donald Trump won the presidential election, somebody said, Taproot said January 20th, 2016. Yeah. So that was early 2016, yeah. So, the time Mazi Donald Trump, won the January 2016 USA presidential election, my spirit told me that this man called Mazi Donald Trump was not strictly, that one of the reasons why Donald Trump won that very presidential election was to help Biafra succeed. Pay attention. My spirit, I did not tell you the prophecy, or maybe the Bible say no, or maybe a prophet somewhere say no. I'm telling you that my spirit that I walk with, the Spirit of God in me, told me, the Spirit of God in me, I did not say God told me, oh, I am not a prophet. The Spirit of God in me, the one that walked with me, told my heart that one of the reasons Donald Trump won this presidential election is for him to help Biafra. So, because chai. So, when the time was going, because if you really go back, you will see that even Donald Trump may not have the reason to win that very presidential election in 2016. No reason whatsoever. To win that presidential election, because he was never a politician. In fact, if he's in Nigeria, they will say he has no structure. Just the same way they told Peter Obi, though Peter Obi was part of the criminality in the Nigerian politics. So, but in the zoo, they will tell him, you have no, what did they call it? You have no structure. So, Trump had no structure, as he was not a politician in the USA. He was just a businessman, a billionaire businessman. He was not supposed to win, because if you go through the history, George Bush, Barack Obama, name them, many of them, including this Joe Biden, many of them have not done any other thing in their lives apart from politics. Barack Obama started playing politics from the moment he became an adult. Joe Biden became a politician from the very moment, even from school, he has already gone into politics. They never done any other thing. I'm talking about their history. In their history, they had no other job if not being a politician. From one stage to another, from one stage to another, until they become, president. That is their history. But Donald Trump has no history of politics or being a politician in the past until he contested for US president once, the very first time he did, and he won it. So he has no right or reason to win that very presidential election, but God did it for him. God did it for him. So my spirit told me that Biafra, to help Biafra succeed, could be one of the reasons Donald Trump became the president of America. I didn't say to give us Biafra, but I said to help Biafra succeed. Now, as time was going, Donald Trump became the official US president, and he was running his presidency. Time was going, time was going, time was going, until he finished his first tenure. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was even going. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was there during his, presidential rallies back then. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was there